Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Let me talk to you about this past episode of Impact Wrestling, along with giving my thoughts on this Sunday's Redemption event. I'm so stoked for this, folks. This is possibly the hottest that Impact has been in a long time. I personally feel like they have a ton of momentum behind them, just with the collaboration of everyone between Impact, Lucha Underground / AAA, and House of Hardcore. The future's wide open for this, folks. And I'm trying not to overthink this. I'm just excited for what's happening in the moment. But folks, if you want to overthink this, and it's fun too once in a while. I've learned my lesson in that, and I try not to do that. But where they could really go with this, and I'm hoping they're ambitious enough to at least try some of this, where they could seriously go with this is the sky's the limit, seriously. To bring in, X amount of guys from this place or X amount of guys from this place, start a few storylines, and just rotate them in and out throughout the year, Do this storyline with these few guys as a bit of an invasion angle, or just as in revenge for what might possibly happen this Sunday. Like I said, folks, the sky's the limit, and I'm hoping that all sides are ambitious enough to really go out on a limb and shock the world with some of this stuff. But like I said, I'm trying not to overthink it. I'm going to fantasy book one thing for this Sunday, or let's say, if not this Sunday, the very near future. I'm gonna fantasy book one thing, okay? And that has to do with what happened tonight. We saw, and I'm going to kind of just jump all over the place. I'm not going to go from top to bottom to top, whatever. So just bear with me. We saw a match between two people that was really kind of out of the blue. I'm not sure, because I'm trying to process the goal of this. If it's just to put over the monster, I get it. Because we saw the whole Congo Kong versus Abyss thing, and Congo Kong is like the new monster. I think we're seeing a phase out of Abyss. Not that he's not going to be around anymore, but my guess is, maybe they're going to use him like in the back for like Joseph Parks for more like backstage, more of an agent, kind of just helping run things in the back and help, just helping run stuff. Kind of like how Sanjay Dutt does, or how Tommy Dreamer has helped with some production lately. That's just a guess. But we saw this match between Congo Kong and Johnny Impact. And we saw how Johnny Impact was really just devastated. I mean, Congo Kong trashed, or just to sum it up the end of it, he trashed the ref, and then put him face first into the steel steps that were sitting up on the apron. And it left him just a bloody mess. And it's interesting how this happened right before Redemption. Now, the card itself is stacked, and we'll get to that a little later. We'll talk a little bit about each thing. But what's interesting is how, if they're going to go from somewhere from this match into the pay-per-view and like book something like surprise something, this is what I would do. And I've been wanting this for a long time, and it's no secret. I've talked about it on here several times. And now it's like there's no better time than the present. If you're combining the worlds of Lucha Underground and Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore, one of the fresh guys who, well, now we haven't seen him on Lucha Underground. We've seen him on House of Hardcore recently. I would say if Johnny Impact wants to get revenge on Congo Kong, he could call on an old buddy of his from AAA and bring in Kevin Cross and make an out of the blue Kevin Cross versus Congo Kong match. Like, who's this guy? Do something like that. That's what I would do personally. I would love to see something like that. That's just what I was thinking about when I was watching it a little bit ago. It was just how they just, the match was so sudden, and it turned into such an ugly, big, devastating thing at the end. It's like, in my opinion, you can't leave it like that. Johnny Impact's got to get some. I always want to call him Johnny Mundo or Morrison. I'm still not used to this Impact. Johnny's got to get some kind of revenge. And if he's going to get some revenge, why not bring in some backup? Because Congo Kong is nothing to F with, in my opinion. Not saying Impact can't handle him, but Impact is more of an X Division type guy with his parkour skills, high flying skills. Congo Kong's more of a, I'm just going to mess you up, kind of guy. So two very different ring types. You need something with a little more beef to maybe even the odds a little, I guess. So that's, if I could fantasy book something for Sunday or the near future, that's what I would do. So give me your thoughts on that. Let me know what you think of that. So we had a few rewinds or flashbacks, if you will. The first one was a really interesting one. I almost forgot about this. It's like, yeah, that, you've seen a lot of stuff about the NWA in the news, the rebirth of the NWA, how the 10 pounds of gold is getting shipped all over the world now, and Aldis is defending it everywhere. Just defended it a few days ago in China against Colt Cabana. Can't wait to see that footage. I don't know if it's out yet. I gotta look. But anyways, it's coming to the NWA's YouTube soon. It's like the NWA Championship used to be a part of this company, and I think people forget that once in a while. I certainly did. We got the footage of Rhino defeating Jarrett for the NWA Championship. This is back in 2005. I had to look it up. I remember he was NWA champ, but and then I had to Wikipedia it. You do that sometimes. You're looking up dates for certain things. And unfortunately, this, I'm not sure how and why, but this championship reign only lasted 2 days. kind of crazy. Um, but anyways, um, the other one was Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode for the TNA Championship at Bound for Glory 2011. That was interesting. Um, there's some really good wrestling in the past of this company, and it makes you wonder. And not to go off subject too much and talk about the WWE, but both Angle and Roode are in the WWE now. It's like, man, if those two hooked up in the WWE now, that'd be really something. Hey, could happen. They got a history, they got chemistry. I'd like to see it. Lots of rundowns of the different matches. We get the the KM Open Challenge, and he talks about the Open Challenge like there's never been an Open Challenge before. It's pretty. This guy's funny. This guy's got jokes. And does the Open Challenge, and he's calling out veterans like Brooklyn Brawler and just all these other guys from the past, and who comes out? Brian Cage. Brian Cage comes out and just devastates him. I should say decimates him. And uses a new finisher. And it's like they can't. Well, he called it an F5. You can't really call it an F5 because someone else calls it an F5. So it's a fisherman's carry face buster. So, but that's too long to say. So we'll just call it I don't know. Should we call it a C5? Cage C5? I don't know. But anyways, so it's another devastating move in the arsenal of Brian Cage. What can't this guy do? It's crazy. Let's see. We also got Braxton Sutter and Su Yung. Quite the combo, these two. And I don't know if Su Yung is actually on board with this, because how she looks at Braxton Sutter is not exactly how I'd want well, I shouldn't say significant, not that Su Yung is a significant other, but even as a tag partner, I wouldn't want her looking at me like that. I'd probably piss myself. I would, yeah. We saw these two go up against Kiera Hogan. Great to see her back. She's quite a good talent. We don't see enough of her, so I'm hoping they use more of her in the future. And Falaba, who apparently is getting some merch soon. Very interesting to see that. Certainly means he's going to be sticking with the company. That's a positive. And I'm starting to like this guy. There's a little bit of comedy with his gimmick. He's a big guy. He's a big boy. But he's also man, the guy can move. He's a big guy. He for a guy who can move like that is like, wow. But Su Yung and Sutter come out with the win. And I've said this before in past reviews, Allie is like impressing me more and more week after week. She attacked Su Yung at the end of this match. And it didn't end up too good for her, but she at least attacked Su Yung as into, hey, I'm not scared of you. She still may come off as timid with the fans, on the way to the ring. But the fact that she, called her out a few weeks ago and attacked her now, she's getting some spunk, she's really doing it. So hey, good for her. I don't know if things are looking too good for her for Sunday, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Along with the rewinds and the flashbacks and a few other things, we saw the main event from this crossover event that just happened during WrestleMania weekend or WrestleCon weekend. Lucha Underground versus Impact Wrestling. Phoenix versus Pentagon versus Aries. And what's also interesting, as excited I was to see this again because it was a great match when I watched it live, I also noticed, and I'm not knocking them for this, it was just funny and it was interesting. I could tell it was heavily edited because I don't think they put the whole match on TV for time restraints and everything. That's understandable. But it wasn't just edited that way. At the start of the match, at the point where you see Austin Aries just jump up on the corner turnbuckle and he goes like this, and you hear on TV the chants going back and forth between Phoenix and Pentagon, whatever, Zero Mero, whatever, whatever they were chanting in the crowd. That is not what they were chanting in the crowd, folks. If you're watching live that night, and I understand why they had to edit it out, because they could have censored it and kept it in, but no, they didn't want to give any attention to them. What was actually live and louder than hell that night was "Fuck Del Rio." Fuck Del Rio. Chanted over and over and over again. And that's when Aries jumped up on the turnbuckle like, yep, exactly. He's not here. That's why this is a three-way. And I got it, as much as I like the team of Sanjay Dutt and Josh Matthews, I felt Matt Stryker and Josh Matthews actually worked pretty well together that night, considering it's two play-by-play guys, bouncing off of each other, talking about Impact guys and Lucha guys. I thought they did pretty good. But, obviously they had to take that out because there was mentions of Del Rio. And if you wanted to edit out Del Rio completely, even though they sure do like to mention a lot that he no-showed the event. You notice that? Those little digs in there. But nonetheless, it is what it is. How Impact Wrestling and Lucha Underground and everybody working like hell on this to take this footage and decide what to do with it, minus Alberto El Patron, revamp everything, change the main event, and re-edit especially this episode, the go-home episode. I give them a lot of credit. I give Impact a lot of credit because they had to scramble and do a lot of things. Because I'm sure between last week and this week, there was footage recorded done, planned, and edited for a go-home thing between Alberto El Patron and Aries. They had to scrap all that, folks. You know, that's crazy. So what this company has had to do to rework all that, hey, props to them. Seriously, that's some good stuff. So that was pretty much it for the go home episode. Let's talk. I think that's everything. Kind of bounced around, talked about this, that. Let's talk about the card. Let's first talk about a match that was, I don't know which one was thrown on here last, but nonetheless, this match between Aerostar and Drago. They say this is, I'm looking at the card here on the ImpactWrestling.com. It says an exclusive match presented by Impact Wrestling partner promotion Lucha Underground. So yeah, this is a great way to remind everyone how good Drago is, because Drago was featured in the whole what the hell was that called? The X Cup. A few months ago. January, February, I forget, a few months ago. And he had some good matches. In fact, I want to go back and watch some of them, because some of those matches with the guys at Desmond Xavier, the handful of guys that were used in that, they were really good. So you bring back a guy like Drago, and you put him with a guy who he works with in AAA / Lucha Underground, Aerostar. And if you're not familiar with Aerostar and you watch the Twitch event, you got a little preview of what he's like. I mean, he's done some crazy stuff. Between his Lucha Underground and AAA stuff, you talk about a guy that risks it all. Risks it for the biscuit. Jumping from just devastatingly high places for a pop. It's just unbelievable. But I think one of the most memorable things, besides his ring work, Aerostar comes out with a lighter and a big-ass can of hairspray and puts out about a 6-foot flame from his head, just sprays it all over the place, and just, wow, it's... we need an eye catcher. It's about as eye catching as it gets. So yeah, these two are going to tear it up. I have no doubt between this match or the next match, it's going to be like the opening match, just to get the crowd excited, hyped up, fired up, whatever. These two are going to tear it up. Oh man, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Drago. Just because the fans know him a little more, so he's going to have a little bit of that momentum behind him. Not to knock Aerostar. I mean, like I said, these two are going to tear it up. Two incredible high flyers. So, yeah, it's hard to pick one. But just for the sake of fans might know him a little better, I'll say Drago. But this one's could seriously go either way. Let's see. Let's talk about another one that was made recently. We've got a 6-way match. Trevor Lee versus DJZ, returning to the Impact Zone. First time since what did he say at the crossover event? First time since last year. So he hasn't been with Impact for about a year, and he's back now. Versus Phantasma, aka King Cuerno, but no, in this event he's going to be Phantasma versus Desmond Xavier versus Ishimori. It's so awesome that they're keeping Ishimori around, because when he dropped the title, I was assuming he was going to get sent back to Noah. Like, okay, you dropped the title, now you're going to go back to Noah. No, he's sticking around. It's awesome. Versus Brian Cage. Now, I know a lot of people look at this like, oh, Cage is in this? Well, he's undefeated. It's his match. Well, I don't look at this like, oh, it's Brian Cage versus like 5 other X Division stars. I mean, if this is Brian Cage's introduction into the X Division, I'm all for it. And I know there's people out there that are going to say, no, you can't put him in the X Division. What are you thinking? And it's like, honestly, yeah, they can. Because the X Division has always been like a no limit thing. Look at the guys who have been in there before. Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, AJ Styles. Okay, you want to talk bigger guys? Samoa Joe. He was huge. So, it really doesn't matter. So if that's, this obviously is not for anything in the X Division as far as a championship, but maybe that's what this is geared to look as. So who knows? I'm not exactly sure what their goal in this is. But I think it's also because Brian Cage is undefeated, but it's also going to show that he's not a guy that can just throw around another big guy like KM. He can work with all these other miscellaneous sized guys as well. And I say miscellaneous because it's like all spectrum, Phantasma is a fairly average bigger guy. Then you got smaller guys like DJZ. So, this matches everything as far as size-wise, talent-wise, move-wise, whatever. But as much as I want to see someone like Phantasma take this one, or Desmond Xavier, who hasn't been around for a little bit, I got to give this one to Cage. He's got quite the momentum behind him. He's undefeated. He's going to be champ. It's inevitable. If this match is being made so that when they start the tapings, they'll put him in the X Division against Seidel's champ right now. Excuse me. And he's going against Petey Williams. I am so sorry. Petey Williams. I think. Oh man. But hey, yeah, as long as we're talking about that, let's talk about that next. Seidel versus Petey Williams. That I would say is definitely in the running for, could be match of the evening. These two are also absolutely going to tear it up. Hey, agents in the chat. Says Abyss was X Division champ? Oh, I'd have to look that up. Are you serious? I don't. I, wow. I must have missed that. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, like you said, anything goes, you know. Good to see you here. Um, Agent. Oh, let's see. Um, what were we talking about? Oh, the X Division match. Seidel, P.D. Williams. Um, Seidel's had it for a while now. I would like to see. Oh, okay. Um, during his Art of War phase. I do not remember that. I would say this is P.D. Williams' time. Um, would love to see him get it back. He's been since his comeback. Late last year. I think it was late last year. Um, I mean, the guy. You know, some guys go away, come back, and they're not in ring shape. They're just back to get a paycheck. Like, I'm not going to name any names, but uh, oh, stop me. Um, but Petey Williams is still incredible in the ring. You still got it. You know, just let the chance roll. He's still got it. Um, yeah, these two are absolutely going to tear down the house. I'm going to say, I think we're going to see a few title changes. So yeah, I'm just picking them as I'm going. I didn't write anything down as far as picking them early. Nothing. I'm just picking them on the fly here, folks. Because when I pick them ahead of time, they never work. Look at WrestleMania, folks. I was like 3 for 14 or whatever the hell. Don't even get me started. It was laughable. Jiminy Christmas. All right. Let's see. Let's work our way up the list here. Oh, this is going to be fun. First ever House of Hardcore match. Eddie Edwards, Moose, Tommy effing Dreamer, face Sammy Callahan and OVE, David Christ and Jay Christ. I want to read you guys something. Give me just a second to look this up. I retweeted this right. I retweeted this right before I went live. This is a tweet from Tommy Dreamer. Hashtag Impact on Pop was a good show. My House of Hardcore motto, no politics, no BS, just wrestling. My company shot, edited, produced the main event of tonight's show, which was great. Impact Wrestling, Lucha Underground, End package was amazing footage. Everyone working together. Fans win. Thank you, wrestling. I retweeted that and said hashtag fans win. Amen, Tommy. Amen. And it's true. You know, these companies working together. Folks, this is the future of wrestling right here. More companies working together. There's no reason why we can't see more of this. And it's a growing thing. I've said this, I don't know how many times this year leading up to this past big crossover event. You know, this isn't just Impact and Lucha Underground / AAA working together. No, Tommy's in the mix now too. Tommy is a great mind for professional wrestling, the business, the psychology, backstage, out in the ring, everything and anything. And the fact that he's working with them now, Um, I'd hate to think, I'm trying not to like turn this into a wow and then get all sour and shitty on it. Just bear with me. Um, and I've said this before. He's talked about he doesn't know how long he's got left in the ring. Is this going to be? I'm going to say this all year. Is this going to be his last match? This is going to get crazy. Okay, this is a House of Hardcore match. Anything goes. We're going to see ladders. We're going to see chairs. We're going to see tables. We're going to see. Sammy's going to bring out the baseball bat. It's going to be nuts, and I hope they stay safe. But man, yeah, I hope we see some crazy shit at the same time. No more busted eye sockets. But man, this, if anyone has been talking about anything over the last couple months, as far as like one of the biggest things being talked about in the world of wrestling, it's this rivalry right here that started between Sammy and Eddie. And it turned from if you look at the package they put on tonight's show and also in that the pre-show thing that's on YouTube is like a half an hour long. If you look at how this evolved from point A to now, it's really incredible. This turned from a horrible accident that happened in the ring, and this has completely blown up and grown to astronomical proportions that everyone and anyone is talking about this, either shaming this or praising this or just jumping on the bandwagon and eating the popcorn like, oh shit, I can't wait to see what happens next. Callahan calls himself the Draw now, and it's, he's not everyone's cup of tea, but let's think about this for a second. The guy's on 3 different shows. He's on Lucha Underground. He is a part of season 4, from what I've heard. He had some unfinished business. He's on this new MLW show. It's on. I have like the one cable system that doesn't carry the BN Sports, whatever that is. I never heard it before. I just heard about it like last week. He's on there. They're doing tapings for it. It's like a growing indie with TV, kind of like Impact, a Ring of Honor, whatever. And he's also on Impact Wrestling. It's like, holy cow! He's all over the place. He calls himself the Draw. Well, he's out there, He's it's not what does Kid Rock say? It's not cocky if you back it up. I don't know, whatever. He's just he backs it up. He brings his bat and he brings his crew, and you better look out. He's everywhere. But man, who's gonna win this one? Is Eddie Edwards gonna get his redemption from that first accident? You gotta think he's gonna. If you look at how this story has evolved, and even at the crossover event was like the you say like the climax. Eddie Edwards looks like he's gonna get some early redemption, and then he gets beat down, and how it came off was brilliant. It really was. Look at how the psychology of all this worked. Callis, who's not on TV or on air personality, runs out from the back with the towel. I love how they did this. Runs out with the towel and throws in the towel in the ring. You never see that, or almost never. It's something that's not seen a lot. So the fact that they like brought back like, you know, the white towel, threw in the towel, and even in last week when Tommy Dreamer showed up, Eddie Edwards' wife went out there and cried. And then what's hilarious, and I haven't seen anybody say this, but I was thinking it, and I saved it till now to say this. Everyone always says, and everybody copies everyone. Don't tell me they don't. Because, but this is just funny how these two things happened within days of each other. You had Alicia, whatever her name is, Mrs. Eddie Edwards runs down to the ring to try to save her hubby. Then Tommy Dreamer comes in, sets up the match. Just days later, the Bludgeon Brothers devastate the Usos. And Naomi screams, runs down to the ring. No, stop. And I was like, where have we seen this before? I think the best scream, though, honestly, is Josh Matthews last week when he was getting chased around the ring from Petey Williams. And Josh Matthews, I can't even do it because my voice is shot. Go watch the clip. It's effing hilarious. It really is. I was drinking a beer at the time, spit it out, went everywhere. My wife was like, damn. And I was like, did you hear that? That was great. It's great stuff. That's why I call Josh Matthews squeaky once in a while. Too funny. So, what the hell are we talking about? Oh, yeah. The 3-on-3. It's flavored water, folks. Honestly. That's what happens when you get old. Let's say Eddie Edwards gets some redemption. That's what it's what this is all about, right? Edwards. What the hell is it? Oh, Moose. I'm like, who's else? Who's in the match? Oh, yeah, Moose and Dreamer. And while I'm doing this, if you're watching this after the fact, let me know who you think is going to win too. Put it in the comments below. Would love to hear your thoughts, your opinions, and your picks. All right. Back to the card for Sunday. Oh, this match. I mean, this card is really all over the place here, folks. And this is just a great example of that. Santina and Ortiz, LAX, defending the Impact Tag Team Championships against Eli Drake. And just pretend there's a giant thing here, like Big Papa, just pretend. Let's pretend. All right. Anyways, Big Papa Pump. And before I talk about this, if you guys have not heard the teleconference, I don't listen to all the teleconferences. I listen to some of them, depending on who it is. It's like, oh, it's so-and-so. I really want to hear what they have to say. It's one of my favorites, like Austin Aries or, oh gosh, I'm trying to think they've had everyone and anyone on there. Eli Drake was an okay one. I think they've had Johnny Impact on. They've had everybody on there. Getting a couple back twice, even 3 times. they had Scott Steiner on this one. I was like, oh dear God, I have got to listen to this. He damn near fell out of my chair again. No, he was in rare form. I mean, he really was shooting pretty hard on a few subjects. Even got kind of controversial talking about how he's going to have LAX. What did you say? Mow his lawn? I was like, oh, you can't say that. Yeah, well, he did. Oh, it made me think of the Mexicools. Love the Mexicools. They're still around. I don't think they're mowing lawns. But anyways, I digress. He's racist. No, I'm not racist. I just thought that was some funny shit. Go listen to the teleconference. I mean, he's serious for some of it, but then some of it he's just, oh my God, like how he started it out, just all pissed off and cussing. Poor, who the hell is the guy that runs the call? He says his name at the start of every single one. I can't think of what it is. But he was all rattled at the beginning there, like, oh, okay. Too funny. Go check it out. So Eli Drake picking Scott Steiner. What an odd couple. It's part of it is you look at this like, oh, this is never going to work. But then you remember who Big Papa Pump was, and it's like, yeah, he was a tag team specialist. I should say is. He's still active, so you say he is a tag team specialist. He hasn't been in a tag team in a while. But if you're going to go for some tag team gold, call up a tag team specialist, I guess. So, I don't see Drake and Pump coming through with this successfully. If, now this is a big if I was going to fantasy book this and I wanted to really blow the roof off the place, I would have Mac and Mac and Killshot / Shane Strickland, and then I'll throw in the and or AR Fox, who are trios champions in Lucha Underground, and have them show up, try to get a little revenge from the crossover event during WrestleCon weekend, Lucha versus Impact, and have them screw up the match. That's how I would do that. I know that's asking a lot, but that's how I would do it. And then I would incorporate Mac or hell, all three guys. Why not? Let's just blow the roof off. Have all three guys on Impact for like the next tapings and just do a whole thing with LAX. I think that would be ridiculously awesome because it would draw more eyes to them, would also help promote the upcoming season of Lucha Underground, which is what they want to do. On the opposite end of the spectrum of that, talking about Steiner and Drake, still saying I don't think they're going to come away with this, because I think that's ludicrous. I just don't think they're going to work together. They may sound like they're going to, but I don't think it's going to work. Drake not only has the tag team briefcase, he also has one other case. He may cash in both at Redemption and get his own redemption on Austin Aries. And if I jinx that for Aries, I am so sorry. But I thought about that during the show tonight. I was like, what if Drake cashes in both? He's only talking about doing a tag team one. But what if after the triple threat match between Penta, Phoenix, and Aries, there's no reason why Drake couldn't come down and pull a, we say it, pull a Mella, have a Mellabration. Oh, my wife wanted to throw some shit at me. My wife fell asleep during SmackDown this last week, and I woke her up. I said, "Look, your favorite's on TV," having the Mellabration. Oh, she's like, "You woke me up for that?" I'm like, "It's your favorite." She started throwing shit at me. Story time with J-Bone. Had to tell you that one. Sorry. Too much fun. So yeah, Drake may do that, or they may save it for the tapings. I don't know, or it may come. I don't know. See, here's the thing. One other thing, just these random little things pop in my head, and I got to talk about them. I think, don't quote me on this, folks. I think his contract is up in May, Drake. If he is going to cash him in, the last time he was on the teleconference, someone asked him if he had re-signed yet. Drake said, "No, I have not." Now, as much as some of these fans want to see people jump ship and go to other said company, like EC3, Lashley, and the whole list of others, I want to see Drake stay. Oh, I said the same with EC3, but you see how that went. I think Drake is one of a kind. I think he's one of the best all-around performers currently in the ring and on the mic. I mean, he's, as far as total package, there aren't not too many total packages out there. He's one of them. So, that's going to be a big factor too, is if he's staying, they may do something big with him. They may do something big with him to get him to stay. Theory. Yeah, we'll have to see. Agent in the chat said if this keeps up, it's gonna be NXTNA. Yeah, I see that a lot on. Excuse me, I see that a lot on social media too. People putting those lines together, or those tag letters together, whatever. But overall, as far as chances for the tag match, I think LAX is going to come off with a win here. But who knows? Who knows? We could see some shenanigans. And I don't think Conan's going to be back yet. I would be shocked. I don't know if he's out of the hospital yet. I don't know his condition. So he did just have hip surgery right before WrestleMania. So a month ago, somewhere within the last month. So we'll see. But nonetheless, I hope he's recovering well. Who knows? It might have to bring in Homicide for a little backup. We'll see. um, oh no, that's right. He's taking care of something else south of the border. He's watching them hoes. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Allie defends her Impact Knockouts Championship against Su Yung. Su Yung, Allie. They got to edit this article because it says Su Yung LAX. LAX is supposed to be on the next line. Yeah. Allie versus Su Yung. This one, I think we're to get a new Knockouts champion. Honestly. Allie's good, and like I've said, she's impressed me more and more lately, but Su Yung is, man, there's just something about her, man. She's great in the ring. She's had a few like squash matches, I guess you could say. But she's just, I mean, she is terrifying. And I'm sure people, because, it's like the first time Decay was around, I missed a lot of it. And I'm sure people are talking about Su Yung the same way that they talked about Rosemary when she first showed up a few years ago. It's another name I heard might jump ship soon. I hope Rosemary doesn't, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. We'll see. Su Yung is terrifying. And I've seen a lot of creepy gimmicks in my lifetime. Su Yung is legit terrifying, man. When she comes out and she's got the baby doll dress on, and it's all covered in blood down the front, and she's got blood dripping out of her mouth. It's like, oh my God. And I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and I could watch episode after episode after episode, and some of them give me the little heebie-jeebies. But man, Su Yung, as far as character and looks, she's great in the ring. And I'm sure haven't even seen half of what she could do. But she's got a good moveset from what I've seen. Great finisher. The slam, whatever they call it, the driver, modified driver. But between the getup and the makeup and the blood and the look and the twitches, it's like crazy. Agent in the chat says Su Yung was part of Kazarni's wrestling company. Oh yeah, he's got something out. I want to say out west somewhere. Yeah, it could be. I think she's from Florida. She's been all over the place. I just put something on my watch later list for YouTube. It was Su Yung versus something. I was going to watch it the other day, and I forgot to. And I can't remember from what company that video was from. But yeah, I've seen the more and more, especially now. I mean, she's really getting her name out there now. Especially being tied with Rich Swann, who recently came back to wrestling. He retired and now he came back. He showed up at CZW. Yeah, CZW. So welcome back, Rich Swann, to professional wrestling. Su Yung is his wife? Girlfriend or wife? I think wife. But yeah, I think we're gonna get a new Knockouts champion here. I wanted I wanted to see more from Rosemary and Taya. I was hoping that, what was that? The Demons Dance, whatever they called it. I think that's what it was last week. I was hoping they would do that at at Redemption. But I don't think either one of them are on the show. I'm a little surprised because they're both bigger names in the Knockouts division. But hey, there could be some last minute additions. You never know. We'll have to wait and see. Excuse me. What is left here? Did we talk about? Yeah, we talked about the X Division match. We'll make sure we cover everything here. Aerostar, Cage. Yeah. The main event. The main flippin' event. For the Impact World Championship. Did you notice they stopped calling it the Global Championship? I'm hoping now what they said, January or February, they said the goal was to have new championships by WrestleMania weekend or WrestleCon weekend. We didn't see any. So maybe we'll get new championship belts. So I know people are still talking about, oh, they got stickers on them. It's to cover up the whole, global force thing, get away from that. You gotta do what they gotta do, It's a quick fix, people are overthinking it. It is what it is. I would love to see them debut new championships this Sunday. I have not heard anything about it, but hey, it might be a surprise. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I would love to see them bring out brand new championships. That'd be a great way to, getting back into the whole pay-per-view big event business and stuff like that. But as far as Aries versus Pentagon versus Phoenix, folks, yeah, if you're not familiar with Pentagon or Phoenix's work, please, folks, I can't tell you enough. Go to the Lucha Underground channel or the El Rey Network channel. The Lucha Underground channel is actually very new. There's not much on there. But go check out some matches from Pentagon versus Phoenix or with Phoenix or whoever from Lucha Underground, AAA, what have you. Go look up some of it. You got the high-flying stuff of Phoenix and the mat-based submission work of Pentagon. Pentagon also does some high-flying stuff, but he's more submission and, they're both so good. They're some of the hottest independent guys around right now. And I got a feeling with all this crossover stuff, something big is about to happen with them, but I don't know. I think Conan is a big reason why they are a part of Impact now. I haven't seen them actually, they're not on the roster yet, but I would love to see that. And if they're going to grow this whole this company is working with this company is working with this company and doing this and this and this and this. You know, like they've had Taya, Johnny Impact, Brian Cage. Like, hell, half the rosters from Lucha Underground. Why not? Why not bring in a few more? Bring in a couple tag teams. Bring in a couple knockouts. Bring in Pentagon and Phoenix. I mean, like I said at the beginning of this, the possibilities where they could go with this, they could take this to the moon. That's why I said I'm so excited about what they could do with this, but I'm trying not to lose my mind over it because it's I don't want to get so excited and then they don't do anything. You know, it's because we've seen that before. Where they brought in the guys from Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling for the crossover thing, and then it was over like that, and it was like, oh, that's it. That's they brought him in for a couple of shows and nothing else. But there's a real relationship here now. It's not just I don't know if we're gonna do this. No, there's a relationship now, and and the only way we're gonna get more is if we ask for more. So if you like what I'm talking about, share this video and talk about it on social media. Talk about it with your friends. Word of mouth is like, it's how stuff gets done, folks. So just my 2 cents worth. Just a crazy old man talking here. Just losing his mind over professional wrestling. So yeah, that's my thought about the main. Oh, I didn't pick. How the hell do you pick a winner in this one? Like I said, if you want to really if they're gonna shake things up, and I love it when they shake things up. It's like, if they do something out of the realm of, well, it's this guy or this guy. No. If they're playing it safe, which is understandable. It's the first big pay-per-view. Let's just play it safe. Just have a good show, have good matches, but we're not going to do anything crazy. Pick Aries. But want to really shake things up? Do something like Phoenix wins or Pentagon wins. Should I? Okay. And then Eli runs down, cashes in his case, and becomes champion. And everyone goes, oh. Don't at me. Damn it, J-Bone. What? No, I don't know what's going to happen. That'd be some crazy shit, though. But if Impact's going to use that, they better flip and pay me. Sounds a good idea. So we'll play it safe. We'll play it safe, folks. Aries retains. There you have it. There's my thoughts, my preview / predictions. I wasn't going to do predictions for this, but it ended up being a predictions anyways. So there you have it. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. Put them in the comments below. Who are your quick picks for this weekend? Let me know what you think. Are you excited? Are you going to watch? Are you scared too? I'm ecstatic. I'm going to watch. Yeah. Sky's the limit for this company, folks, and it's just the beginning. 2018 is going to be a phenomenal year. You can quote me on that. Just all around in professional wrestling, not just this company, everywhere. It's going to be crazy. We're going to see firsts all over the place. And we're seeing it here in this company, Impact Wrestling. Some tremendous crossover stuff right here. So, all right, that's it, folks. Don't know what's coming up next. I'm certainly going to review the show, give my 2 cents on it. As far as anything else, might start reviewing NXT. We'll see. This last episode was really good. And Ricochet was all over it. So that was awesome. So, yeah, I might. We'll see. I'll decide overnight. But yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, folks. If you're new to the content, by all means, there's plenty more where that came from. And hit that sub button and ring that bell for notifications so that when you know more of my content hits your screen. Good night, folks. Have a good one.